Hello everybody, Steve Politi, joined by Tom Luicci, Brendan Prunty. We're at Rutgers Stadium where they've already turned off the lights. They could have done that about, 3-4 hours ago, the way Rutgers played tonight.
Saved us from having to watch it if it was this dark.
Just not the way Rutgers hoped to start this season, and in virtually every conceivable way. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, really. I guess you start with the offense.
You know what, Steve? It was a total team meltdown. You can start anywhere. You can start defense, offense, special teams. Total team meltdown. I mean, whatever you want to talk about, running game was not very good. Mike Teal was not very sharp. They didn't move the ball. They managed one touchdown. Special teams didn't have an impact. Defense didn't cause any turnovers. Total team meltdown.
I mean, I guess I just had expectations for the offense. When you have Teal coming back, fifth, year senior, you got two receivers who got 1,000 yards. You have a decent running backs. I mean, how can this team only score 7 points? I mean, you watched the game. What's the explanation for that?
It just seemed like they didn't know what they wanted to do. They wanted to try and pound the ball, and then when that wasn't working, then they tried to throw it, and that clearly wasn't working. More dropped passes than.
But also, Teal was high and wide a lot of times. There were drops. There were, I mean, it was just, as I said, this was, you can't pinpoint this on one area, one person. I mean, I could probably give you 11 guys that were responsible for this. Yeah. This was just, and you know what? Some
more
than
11 guys.
Wearing headsets.
Some
of them were wearing headsets.
Let's talk about. I know a lot of fans are going to talk about that play, play calling. Greg Schiano said after the game he sent the offense in with the instructions to run the ball twice on fourth. The first time it was 3rd and 3. Next time it was 4th and 4 to the end zone. I mean, to me, the idea of running it twice without knowing the result of the first play, and the first play was a complete disaster. The second play, at least it gained a yard. Still not. I mean, what was the thinking?
I'll tell you what this reminds me of. It reminds me of the game at Louisville when Rutgers had a 3rd and 2, was trying to preserve the lead. And they got cute and they threw the ball. They had Ray Rice, the greatest running back in school history, in the backfield. Didn't run the ball in 3rd and 2. They get cute, throw the ball. Louisville comes back and scores. The game's over. They lose down Louisville. Too cute. That's what this kind of. To me, if you're inside the 5 in a game that's going to be scoreless and you can see it setting up a defensive struggle, kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. And the other thing, my big beef with that, if they're going to go twice inside the 4, which they did, they got Jordan Brooks, who's a 230-pound tailback. How about inserting him into the game? It cost them a touchdown, cost them a field goal, cost them a lead, which they never had in the game. That's why I thought it was so important. They never got the lead.
And you know what? At that point, you just need to put points on the board.
I agree.
Give your defense some hope. They've been carrying you to basically the whole game. You got to give them something back. Show them you're working for them. Putting some points on the board is at least a start.
We're focusing on obviously the negative 24-7 loss in the opener. The defense did for 3.5 quarters,
right,
other than 3 pass plays with Greg Schiano, played pretty well. I mean, is there something they can take out of that, at least if you look at it from that standpoint? Held a pretty good offense in check.
Well, I think they did play well with the exception of those 3 plays. Here's the issue. Those 3 plays were so wide open and they were such breakdowns that they're game breakers. Right. So they wound up being, the 77-yard pass, I said that the guy couldn't have been more wide open if the entire Rutgers defense ran the other way. I mean, that's how open he was. I mean, this was a complete breakdown on 3 plays, which A, you're going to get if the defense is on its heels the whole game, trying to keep the offense in the game. That's the first thing. And then B, when you get behind a little bit and you're gambling a little bit, that's what's going to happen. Kids are going to try and make plays because we need to make a play now, and that's going to happen, and that's when you get big plays. I thought maybe fatigue was a factor. The players and Greg said no.
And now we go straight to North Carolina on a Thursday night. And at least look at the positives. I mean, as bad as the Big East has been, the ACC has been every bit as bad in the early going this season. So, you're looking at a North Carolina team that barely beat who they play. McNeese State.
Yes.
They actually had the guy trying to bring in the game ball and flew into Wallace Wade Stadium at Duke instead of Chapel Hill. Tell you something about where the Carolina football program is right now. Not that I know anything about that. And so at least you look at this. This could be a chance to rebound. What do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I think the winner should get the combined BCS berth for both these conferences is what it should come down to. I mean, both these conferences, let's face it, they stink. They're terrible. I think we saw that from the first week. West Virginia, South Florida will be the flag bearers in the Big East. Wake Forest will be the flag bearer in the ACC. That's what we're talking about at this point. I know it's week 1, it's early, things will change, but here's the problem for Rutgers now. Instead of getting back into the routine of our game week, we have 7 days now until the next game. They have 10 days to stew about this thing. The coaches may like that. It's more time to break down film and prepare. I just think if I'm a player, I'm sitting there saying, I got to get back out there again. But
you want to get out there on
Friday. Yeah, you have to wait there an extra 3 days. Right. That's tough.
All right, Brendan, the final word on this one is yours.
I mean, it's, like you said, going into next week, the ACC, I mean, you got to get, if you're the Big East, you got to get something. 9 points between between Rutgers and Louisville.
You know what? Forget about the Big
It's just
East.
insane.
Rutgers has got to get his act
Yeah.
together. The Big East, you know, Rutgers can't worry about the Big East now. Rutgers has to worry about Rutgers. You know, that's an issue right now. I have to say, this is like a giant stadium. The air went out. You know, because that's what this happened. I think there was a lot of promise coming into the season. I think the offense was expected to do more, and then all of a sudden you sit there and you just feel like everybody feels like they're hungover. That's what it feels like. And maybe you wrote the Ray Rice hangover.
Okay, well, that's all we've got for this week, and we'll be back here on Thursday night in 10 days to do it all again. Thanks for watching.